Okay, we are telling you, there we go. We are up and running and away we go. And it is 12 o'clock, so PDT. Let's go meet the Cape Faye. Hi, the Cape Faye. Hi, Mare. Hello, hello. Wow, Michelle, you're here too. That's amazing. Hello, hello from Texas. Big state. Whereabouts in Texas? Where are we? Hi, Kim. Hi, Cindy. Plus 19 others. Wow, I have 19 others. Okay, Emily, hello. The Cape Faye. Hi again, the Cape Faye. Hi, hi, hi. Anybody from Finland? Anyone? Anyone? Or Nebraska? Hi, Mike. Atlanta, Georgia. Hello. Fort Worth.
Laguna.
Laguna. It's the best place to be. Venezuela. Venezuela. Am I reading that? Hi. Christy. Hi, Christy Powell. She's there. Hi, Detroit. Jennifer. And then we got Kimberly. God, I need my glasses. This is just way too small. Vancouver, Wisconsin. We're going to go to the bottom of the alphabet. Hi, Mom. Mom is here from England. Hi, Mom. Hi. Hi, Notting Hill. Copenhagen. Great. Hi. Hi from South Africa. That's Bamba. Michaela. Am I reading that right? Tennessee. Hello, hello. Milwaukee. Thank you. Hello. Another South Africa. We got a lot of South Africans joining. A lot of Springboks. Hi, Mom. Yeah, Mom's on. Okay, so this should be interesting. Mom, if you like something or whatever, then you hit the heart, and then the heart kind of goes up. So if you want to participate, you can you can hit that little heart button, and then people can. So just show my mom, if you're on right now, if you just show my mom how to hit the heart little button, and then the hearts come up. Can we just show Mom what that looks like? A little real time. There we go. You see, look, Mom, on the right there, you see, that's people like hitting the heart to say, I'm here, I'm listening, this is great. Look at that, it's so great. See, yeah, if you do that, Mom, hi, yeah, I know, Mom, hi, yeah, hit the heart button, and then okay. Bologna, Italy, hi, hope you're staying safe at home. New Zealand, yeah, wow, okay, that's Edinburgh, yeah, we love, okay, we're big Edinburgh fans. Sorry about the festival this year. We'll get back to doing that. Virginia, hi, Mom. Folks are saying hi to you, Mom. So, hi, Joe Borman. Okay, San Jose.
What are people's strengths roles?
Yeah, give us some of your top two. Put in your top two strengths roles. Who are we talking to here? What do we got? Other than folks from Indonesia, hi. Here again from Ojai. We are jealous. We wish we were with you. What do we have? Do we have any advisors, any pioneers? Any stimulators? What do we got? Teacher equalizer. Thank you for sharing. Teacher stimulator, Kevin. All right. A lot of teachers, apparently.
Wow.
Teacher, Michelle Rome. Oh, you're a stimulator connector. Didn't know that. Teacher provider from Ellie. Creator connector. All right. The Cape Faye. Influencer teacher. Okay. Teacher creator. Okay, thank you. Good to share. Good to know. Good to share. Okay, so it's 12:03, and there's a whole bunch of us here. So let's dive in. The focus of today is about relationships, because why not? Because if you know yourself and you know the strengths of the person that you're in relationship with, whether it's a love relationship, whether it's just a deep friendship relationship or a family relationship, really knowing a particular person's strengths can be so interesting, so powerful. A lot of you have asked about compatibility and whether or not certain strengths go really well with certain other strengths, or the inverse. Do certain strengths just kind of clash with one another? I'm sure some of you have conflict with your loved ones. It's not all sweetness, light, and joy. So a lot of you are asking questions about that. I will get to that, but I'm not going to start with that, actually. I'm going to start in a slightly different place, because a lot of you said, how can we use these standout strengths roles to have a conversation with the person that I'm in relationship with? How do we do that? So here's a little bit around how to do that. First of all, of course, there's a lot of different aspects to a healthy relationship. Attraction, if it's a love or a romantic relationship, standout's not going to deal with that. Values, kind of hard to be in a relationship with someone if you don't share their values. And StandOut doesn't really speak to that. What it does speak to is, how does a particular person approach the world? Do you feel in your relationship seen? And again, that whole series that we're doing here is called I See You, I Love You, because it's very, very difficult to love somebody. I mean, really love somebody if you don't see them. And so for many of us, I'm sure, give me some hearts if this is true for you. There's probably been some times in your life, right? Some relationships where you've been in them, but you haven't been seen. Has anyone been in that kind of situation where you're in the relationship, but you're not actually seen for who you are? StandOut can help in that. Gosh, Michelle and I were talking about this the other day, and she said something which is, in terms of marriage anyway, she goes, it's amazing, we say I do before we say I am. Isn't that funny? We say I do, and we join in marriage, but we do that before we've actually said to our partner, well, this is who I am. This is how I approach the world. This is how I think. So we gave you an activity that, if you haven't done this...
Ask how many have. I'm so curious.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so how many of you did get your partner or loved one to take StandOut? Just give me some love. How many of you just got somebody that you're really in relationship with, or you want to deepen connection with, to take StandOut? Let's see whether or not we got. All right, and then how many of you shared your results with them and their results with you? Did we do any of that? Any sharing of? Yeah, a lot of you did, yeah. We do that a lot. Like, obviously the StandOut, there's 14 pages of you in this report. So it's kind of beautiful to kind of give it to the person that you love. I bet some of you did it, right? Just tell me if this is so. You give it to them and you go, is this me? Is this me? Right? And I bet some of you had, arguments is the wrong word, but I bet some of you had some disagreements where it was like, I think this is me, and the other person's going, no, it isn't. Or sometimes it's where you go, look, I got this report, but I don't think these are my top two. And your loved one or your partner goes, hello? Did any of you have any of that? Yeah. So we thought we would put a little structure to that for you. If you want to, and please do this. The world goes by so quickly. And yeah, to the people that we love, we're like, hi, yeah, love you, love you, love you, love you. But do we ever really stop and give somebody the benefit of our attention? Do we ever really do that? So we put a little structure to it. If you haven't done it, go to our website. You can download these printables. And it's really simple. There's instructions. And then I'm going to just take you through what this is, because it's so, it doesn't take any money, obviously, to do this. It really doesn't take that much time. It just takes your attention. The first thing that we would want you to do is print out 2 versions of your report and give one to your partner or loved one, the person you're in a relationship with, or the person you want to deepen your relationship with. Give them a copy, or you can give them a coffee, but give them a copy of your report. You keep your report too, and then independent of one another, you go through and you circle all of the different, think of those first 8 pages. The first 8 pages are all about you. So circle all of the phrases that really sing to you, and then have your partner or loved one do the same. Just circle all of the things in the first 8 pages, which is really your greatest value statement, and then your top 2 strengths roles and a deep dive into each. Circle the phrases and the words that really, really resonate with you. Because remember, and for those of you that are just on here for the first time, remember, this isn't about labeling you. These StandOut strengths roles are not labels, they're doors. That you open the door of Advisor and you walk in, and then you find the phrases and the words that really fit you. So do that. You do it with yours, your partner does it with your report as well. And then come together, and what you're going to try to do is you're going to write a love note to yourself, and your partner's going to write a love note to you. And the love note to yourself is really just answering 3 simple questions for you. The first is, finish the sentence, I am. There's an awful lot of sentences and words in the report that are just descriptions of you. So write the word, pull the ones that you've circled that really sing to you, and write, I am. Like for me, for creator, there's statements in creator like, You are a conceptual person. You like understanding the concepts that explain the best events. Okay, I am that. That not every single description of creator resonates, but that one, I am a conceptual thinker. That is me. I'm in a relationship with Michelle. I need to be able to go, you know what, that is me. Before you say I do, you better say I am. So this is I am.
Could you talk about specificity in the report? Because that's where you really get.
Right. So to start with, say I am. Pick those statements that are descriptors and own them. The second thing we're going to ask you to do is take all the action statements in there. You do this, you do this, you do this, you do this. Take all the action statements that you circled and finish the sentence that starts, I love. I love doing what? And as Michelle just said, the more specific you can get, the better. Like in Stimulator, for me, Stimulator is one of my top two. It says you like being on stage presenting to large groups of people. Okay, yeah, but not all. I don't love doing that all the time. I only love presenting to large groups of people on a subject where I have had a ton of time to prepare, and it's a subject that I know a lot about. Those are the two does it matters. Does it matter if I've had time to prepare? Yes. Does it matter who I'm presenting to? Yes. Does it matter what I'm presenting about? Yes. So write that I love and be vivid and be specific. The more detailed you can be about what you love to do, the more you're helping the person you're in relationship with. They can't read your mind. I mean, I'm sure you found that in relationships, right? You just assume people know you. They don't. We've got so many lovely notes from so many of you about how this StandOut language is helping you to have a language to define some mysteries about you. And some of you said, it's like for 50 years I've been wondering who the heck I am, and there's been some mysteries revealed. Well, if you're a mystery to yourself, you can imagine you're an even bigger mystery to the person you're in a relationship with. So I love. Finish that. What? What do you love? Be vivid, be specific about your loves. And then the last one says, I need. A relationship's about mutuality, right? And it's about mutual connection. So what do you need? Please tell the person what you need. In terms of these strengths roles, I need time. I mean, Michelle I shared this the other day on Creator. I have immediate rejection syndrome. She named it. It was kind of funny. But when I can't take too much more on, I shut down. And from her angle, it sounded like I was just immediately rejecting things. From my standpoint, it's like, I need space. So that's a creator thing. I need time. I need to marinate in ideas before I can move on. So the note, in a sense, to yourself begins with, I am what? I love what? I need what? Use the StandOut report as a springboard to help you add vividness and detail to this note to self. You are what? Let's have you all step strongly into who you are. We were talking about this the other day, but it so often is, I'm sure you found this in your relationships, where often we don't think of ourselves as actors. We think of ourselves as reactors. And so we'll often say to our spouse or our partner, well, you made me feel this. Well, you made me feel that. Well, I don't know. Look, I need to share my feelings with you because you made me feel this. And it's like, no, the only person who owns their feelings is you. You are an actor in this relationship. There are some things about you that are real and coherent and vivid, and you own them. And you take them with you situation to situation. Well, before Michelle can read my bloody mind, I've got to at least take ownership for how I move through the world. They say there's 5 love languages, right? And I enjoyed that book. If you haven't read it, let's have some hearts on how many of you've read 5 Love Languages. Anyone read that book? Yeah, a whole bunch of you have, yeah. I mean, it's a really good book. It says there's 5 different languages of love. Well, yes, and there's actually 9 billion love languages. You have your own love language that is stimulated creative. For me, is a way in which I love things. And I've got to learn to speak my language. This note to self is, Michelle cannot expect me to be a coherent member of this relationship, if I don't know what my love language is, who am I? What do I love? What do I need? I hope the StandOut report can help you as a starting point to write this note to self. So do that first so that you can teach Michelle, or who you're in a relationship with, to speak your love language. There aren't 5. There's 9 billion of them. What's yours? Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing we wanted you to do is, please try this. It should give you shivers when you do this. This next one is just a note. This would be what your partner would write to you if he or she has gone through your report and circled some of the things they see about you. You're then going to ask them to answer just 2 things, or finish the sentence of just 2 things. The first is the sexiest affirmation there ever is in a relationship. It's the sexiest thing you can ever say to someone. And it's a sentence that begins, I love it when you... What? So if your partner has read your report and circled some stuff, you're going to ask her or him or whoever it is to go, I love it when you what? Like, give me some hearts on this one, surely, right? In many, many relationships, it seems as though the person has come to know us really, really, really well and wishes we were different. And particularly when we're all quarantined up together, we sort of get on each other, don't we? Don't do that. Stop doing that. Don't do that. Stop doing that. I wish you wouldn't do that. I wish you wouldn't do that. Could you not do that? You make me feel silly when there's a lot of that, isn't there? Here we're asking, right? There's a lot of that. And some of it's justified because she is really annoying. That was a joke. Let's flip it. Let's ask your partner to go, you know what? This is the sexiest affirmation I can give you. I love it when you do what? Like for us, it's been, there are some things, I love it when Michelle takes an experience that we're trying to create for an audience or a reader or a client, and I love it when she dives into the vividness of the experience, when she turns her connector and her stimulator, to use StandOut language, up to 1 million, and she's like, no, it's the email needs to feel like this, and then the words need to be like this, and then the person's going to feel this, and can you imagine? And I'm like, I love it when she does that. Okay, what a beautiful gift that is for me to tell her to that. Like, we are so inside our own strengths, aren't we, that we don't even see them anymore. We think, oh, duh, doesn't everyone do that? No, you do that. So it's a beautiful thing to offer someone you're in a relationship with to go, I love it when you, and be vivid. Don't say, I love it when you're good with people. Like, no, which people? What are you doing with the people? What is it about Michelle that I love it when she what? And then vice versa. We called it in the work setting, we called it replaying, like strengths replay. You're just replaying when something the person does makes you go, wow, I love it when you what? And then the second question that
By the way, that's great to do with your children, someone said.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're gonna have a whole live on kids, because many of you have kids, many of you were a kid at some point, and we have a lot of, we've asked this question for 25 years. We asked, your child comes home with the following grades: English A, Social Studies A, Biology C, Algebra F. And then we asked parents around the world, and the language we used in English, it was English obviously, in France it was French, whatever the native tongue was, A, B, C, D, F. And then we just said to parents, which grade deserves the most attention from you? There isn't a single country in the world, not one country, where most parents don't focus on the F. We all go to the F. So if you're not careful, you wind up spending most of your time in your conversations with your kid talking about who your kid isn't. How odd is that? We just inculcate in our kids really early that this stuff is fine with you, but we need to focus on the F. And all of our conversations become around the kids' failings. It's like, oof, that's a problem.
Well, in couples too, our conversations come around what someone's doing wrong, or so that's an easy.
Could you not interrupt, please? I'm doing. Yes. No,
I feel like I'm in conversation with you.
Yeah. Michelle was saying this is couples too. I mean, it is funny because we sort of think that it's our job, isn't it? It's our job to point out what's wrong with our partner. Because if we didn't, they wouldn't know that it was wrong, and goodness knows they can't go through life like that. So anyway, all to say, When you do this activity, give this little sheet to your partner. It's just 2 things. I love it when you what? And then the second one's kind of interesting. The second sentence then just says, I turn to you for what? I turn to my shell when I need what? Like when we do this, my shell, it's interesting. My shell turns to me. I'm creator. She's connector. So not to put too much weight on these terms, but she turns to me because connector, you see the whole thing and you see everything's connected. And because everything's connected and you see the whole thing, she gets overwhelmed. The situation is like, it's...
Stimulator helps that.
Well, then you turn up to 11 and the whole thing gets to be just a big ball of mess. And frankly, my creator is like, wait a minute, time out. Let's pull apart these different elements to understand what's underpinning each one. Now, I do that because I can't help it. Because it's just me, I'm just breathing. But for her, it's like a godsend because she's overwhelmed by the one big idea-ness of it all in her life, with the kids, with whatever. And so for me, it's like as natural as breathing to go in. Whoa. It's like, whoa. What's this part? What's this part? What's this part? Let's look to see what's underpinning it. And actually, to be honest with you, I wasn't doing it. I wasn't doing it to be nice. I wasn't even doing it to be loving, really, sorry. But I was doing it because that's what I do. What I didn't realize is that for her, it became like a lifeline. And so what a beautiful thing for her to say to me is that I turn to you for this. Relationships are about connection, right? So what a beautiful thing to ask your partner to say, don't just flatter me. I know we need to deal with some stuff that I do wrong, blah, blah, blah. But could you answer those 2 questions? I love it when you what? And I turn to you for what? Now, it could be skills. She may turn to me for certain skills I have, but she's also turning to me for ways of thinking. We are on this earth for such a short time, and we don't often just get to say to our partner the sexiest affirmation of I love it when you, and the most coherent connection of I turn to you for. Please do that for yourself in terms of I am, I love, I need. And then please ask your partner to finish those 2 sentences. Can you imagine doing it for them? Can you imagine writing for someone that you love? I love it when you do this. And write 2 or 3 things.
This points to our strengths. Like, it helps us understand how we contribute in the world. Like your mom telling you that she turns to you for confidence.
Yeah.
Now you can show up more in the way that people need you.
It is funny because we were talking about the fact that some of you took this report and you didn't necessarily agree with the results. And one of the things I said was, this is not really a thing that says how you see yourself. It's a report that sort of shows you how you come across to other people. My mom's on the line here. Hi, Mom, still, hopefully. Press the heart if you're on, Mom. Anyway, but I was on the phone with her the other day and she just says, I turn to you for confidence. Okay, I've known my mom all my life, obviously. I didn't know that, actually. We have a lovely relationship. I didn't know my mom turned to me for confidence. That's like a lovely thing for somebody to share because it means that I can then step into that. You'll find this, I bet you will. When you do this with your partner or they do it with you, it will turn into expectations. When Michelle says to me, I love it when you help me sort through a really complicated situation and understand the concepts underneath, that becomes an expectation, not a bad expectation. It becomes one of those beautiful things where in a relationship, you are expected to be more of you. Oh my gosh, is that love? I think that's love, isn't it? Where you're in a relationship where someone is expecting you to deliver what you can naturally deliver. Whew, that's fantastic. Which gets us to one quick thought on relationships. What's the point of one? What's the point of a relationship? A point of a relationship is for each one of you to make the other one bigger. We should want to make each one bigger. Our goal should be, I want you to be the biggest version of you. I want you to be the biggest, most beautiful version of you. That doesn't mean that you're running and working 23 hours a day and you're never home. We don't mean that. It's like, I'm your partner. I see all of the brilliant strengths in you, and I want you to amplify them. My job in our relationship is to do that. Will we argue? Yes. Will there be conflict? Yes. Will there be misunderstandings? Yes. But my whole orientation to you has got to be, I want you to be the biggest version of you. Which I know sounds sort of obvious, doesn't it? But so often we find ourselves in relationships where the other person is trying to shrink us. We may even try to shrink ourselves. How many of you have ever been in a relationship where you find yourself trying to minimize yourself so you don't make the other person feel bad? Isn't that odd? So let's just get our anchoring set. You do this kind of activity with the person that you're in relationship with because you want them to be bigger. What a gift. What a beautiful gift that is. So please do that activity, and please do share we're getting so many lovely notes from people, DMs and comments in Instagram and then emails. Please share those stories because we all benefit from seeing how others have got closer, more connected, more responsive to each other. Your stories help everyone. So please share what you're learning if you do this activity. If you've already done it, please share it, what you learned. I'm a researcher. It's fascinating. And we all know, like right now, loneliness is a killer. A lot of us we're in relationships, but give me some hearts if you've ever been in a relationship and yet felt deeply, deeply lonely. You ever felt that? Loneliness isn't just a psychological state. It hurts our health. It kills us. So if we can take time right now to do this, share this with each other, then we are giving the person that we love or the person we're in relationship with a beautiful gift. We're giving them the gift of our strengths-based attention. Whew.
My sister, my best friend, my mom.
Yeah, it's not just, if it's your sister, do it with your sister. If it's your mom, do it with your mom. Don't take love for granted. Give love the benefit of your undying attention. Because really that's really what love is, isn't it? Seeing someone in detail for who they are. My friend Jakai and colleague Jakai, I mentioned him for those of you that have Influencer. He's the one who does all the cartoons. Oh, if you like the cartoon, who likes the cartoons at the beginning of all those little videos we're doing? Any of you seen those little cartoons with the funny figures and the little, some of you have seen those. They're done by Jakai. Jakai is a colleague of ours, and I mentioned this, but one of his very, very dear friends, he did an entire documentary on Omar for 18 months. He just followed him around. Omar was suffering. He'd actually just unfortunately passed away this week. But he had sickle cell anemia. And Jakai took a sabbatical from working for us just to follow Omar around, to give Omar the benefit of Jakai's love for him by just watching him do his life. Now, no one's really going to do that to you, probably, but what a beautiful thing to do with your partner, your mother, your sister, your brother. What a beautiful thing just to stop. Maybe you don't film them for 18 months, but maybe you do tell them, I love it when you, and I turn to you for. It's a beautiful gift.
Just remind them that all the videos are there. So whoever they're doing this with, they should.
Yeah. So I mentioned that we were going to do this. If you're new to this and you're just coming on, or if you have got one of your loved ones to do this, please know we've been putting up each one of the 9 strengths roles. We did a 60-second one if you just want the top line. And then we did, Michelle and I went quarantine in our place like you are. And so we're just chatting about these 9 in detail. And so if you want a bit of a deeper dive, if your loved one, your spouse, your mom, whatever, wants to deep dive, and you've got 15 minutes or 20 minutes or so, that's what those longer videos are. So go to my Instagram and you'll see the deeper dive on each one of these 9 strengths roles. I would say that if you're doing this with your partner, at least look at the deeper dive for the top 2 that you have and the top 2 that she has or he has. Because there's richness there, there's vividness there.
Oh, someone's asking, is there a way to save and send out the videos versus only on Instagram? Let them know that we're moving.
Yeah, I'll leave them on Instagram, I promise I will. But I think we'll also take them off and we'll put them on a website, TBD in terms of the website, so I'll let you know. But you're right, I think it's probably good for us we'll be doing Instagram because it's fast and furious, but we'll take them off, we'll put them on so that each one of the 9 strengths roles has a short little clip, and then we'll give you a deeper dive, and then probably more stuff as well. If you do have a story, if you do have a revelation, if you do have an experience, could you post it and just hashtag it, I see you, I love you? Because some of the stories that we're getting, some of the emails we're getting are so lovely that if any of you, and maybe I'm just talking to stimulators, hey stimulators, if you feel like capturing yourself, describing what you learned about yourself or your partner, hashtag it, I see you, I love you, and then tag me, and we'll all get to sort of see some of the stuff that you're learning. If any of you are into that, any of you feel comfortable sharing some of the stuff that you're learning about each other, or what you felt, or what happened, or any of that, please do share it, because I promise you we will learn from watching. Or maybe I'm talking just to creators there. Anyway, creators learn by watching, so it's really for me, because I'm a creator.
And do you want to talk about conflict
or
roles?
So my show was like, what we got to do here is we got to talk about which roles clash with which roles, or don't. And that's compatibility. A lot of you have been asking about, should I marry an advisor? The answer to that question is always no. Sorry, that's a joke. Sorry, advisors. That was a joke. So what are the clashes? This is always fun. I thought what I'd start off with actually is, let's just go down through each of the 9 strengths roles. My lovely daughter. Hi. You can't come in. We're going live. We are live on this. Are you on live too?
Tell her to say hi to Granny.
Say hi to Granny. Oh, you can open it. You can open it. Pull it. Pull it. Yes.
But
you're good. Yeah, you can wave at Granny. You want to wave at Granny?
Hi, Granny.
We can wave at.
Jill.
Hi, Jill. Hi, Granny.
Jill literally calls me. She goes, "I've been watching your dad's live." I was like, "Glad to know he has some dedicated fans."
This is my very
Stimulated daughter.
stimulated, self-aware, knows more about Instagram. Go away.
No.
Go. No, you can stay. You can stay. Okay, I'm going to go through all 9 strengths roles and say what's annoying about them. So that's what you've arrived. Okay. We've been slightly hijacked.
Am I famous?
Now you are.
I know.
Now you are.
Cool.
Now you are.
Okay.
Okay, we're back. Now, you're happy to stay. Okay. Sorry, I don't know whether Granny you saw that, but that was your granddaughter waving at you.
Hi, Lily. I love you so much.
Okay, she's still on. It's a little heart. So yes, every one of these 9, you can be annoying. Like every one of us can be annoying to someone. So if you're an advisor, you should know. But we got dogs happening, the whole thing. I know, Henry. Advisors, if you're an advisor, just know that you can come across as a person who's a know-it-all. Like you always know the right way. So you can sometimes come across as a know-it-all. That's probably good for you to know. If you're a connector, you can be annoying because you're always pulling some new thing into a situation, and people are like, could you just stop? Could you just stop making us see the whole bloody picture with everything in it? That's annoying. Creators, you can be annoying because you're like, leave me alone. I got to have time to think. So you're annoying because you need your time alone. Equalizers, you're annoying because you don't necessarily just know there's a right way. You think you are right. Like you can be self-righteous as an equalizer. So you don't think you are because you think you're right. But you can be self-righteous. Pioneers, flighty. ADD. Oh, off we go. Oh, off we go. Oh, off we go. Starting things all over the place, never finishing anything. Pioneers. Like you can be annoying. People could think of you as somebody who doesn't actually complete. Providers, as you know, it's like you can be annoying because you keep wanting people to take care of you as well as you take care of other people. You keep wanting people to lift you up and catch you the way that you catch other people. That's annoying. Stimulators. Drama. That's annoying about stimulators. One drama off, oh really, another story, oh really, another drama. Teachers. Oh, for crying out loud, teachers, what's annoying about you? You leave so much space. You're always with your questions. There's always another question, another opening, another possibility. Come on, just close. So every one of us can be annoying, and we probably ought to own, at least be aware of, how annoying we can be. Right? I mean, sorry, some of you aren't annoying ever. No, we've all got like things that we rub us wrong, right? And here are a few things that you should know about compatibility. The first thing, do some strengths roles clash? Well, the short answer to that question is yes, they all could clash because all of us can be annoying, right? So all of them could clash. If you are a creator, you're going to be annoyed with an advisor because the creator wants to really understand the core of what's underpinning things, and the advisor is just being practical and deciding right now that we need to move, make a decision and move, make a decision and move. And the creator's like, could you slow down? So there's conflict there. Think about stimulators and teachers. Now, do we have anyone who's got both of these? Stimulator, teacher? Anyone's got stimulator and teacher? You'd think that's a lovely combo, but I know stimulators and teachers that can clash, because the stimulator's like, I need the story, I need to be coherent, it needs to be thought through because that's where we get drama. And then the teachers are like, no, let's leave it open because there's so much possibility and questioning and growth. It's messy, but that's kind of cool. Okay, you can have people clash around that. Absolutely. Now, if you have stimulator and teacher, you're having that with, that's like Ginny, is that? But Gina? Yeah, like stimulator teacher, hi Gina. That pulls you in different directions. I want it beautiful and perfect, and I want to ask lots of questions and keep it open. So there is the potential for conflict across every role. What I would say is, if you want to use the StandOut language to have a better relationship, at least think about these three things. Number one, how do you both deal with conflict? How do you both deal with conflict? You are going to have conflict. Even if you do that, I love it when you...
Did you say influencer annoyances? Someone said you skipped it.
Oh, did I skip influencers annoying?
I think.
I did that just to annoy you. I did...
Aunt Spice. Call her out.
Aunt Spice, thank you for keeping me straight. What's annoying about influencers is that you have an agenda. And you might even not be honest or straight with us about what the agenda is, but it always feels like you've got some sort of agenda and you're trying to get us to do something that we didn't intend to do. That's annoying. I mean, it isn't annoying. It's lovely. But there's a very fine line, isn't there, between a charming idiosyncrasy and an annoying trait. I mean, it's a very fine line, isn't it? And the line, frankly... What's the line? Where's the line? Charming idiosyncrasy. I love it when you do that. And an annoying quirk. Like, what's the line? The line is intent. If you are in a relationship where you genuinely believe the other person wants you to be the biggest version of yourself, everything is made sense of differently. If you think you're in a relationship where the other person doesn't know who they are, they said I do before they knew who they were, they said I do before they said I am, and now they don't think they're an actor, they think they're a reactor, and they think that you are causing all the problems in their feelings and about themselves. Well, boy, if you're in that kind of relationship, then your charming idiosyncrasies, they turn into, you get accused of them, don't you? And the person has weaponized your strengths. Give me some hearts if any of you have ever been in a relationship where the person got to know you really, really, really well and then wished you were different. And then had a language about it that's so vivid. And you go, oh my word, I'm living with the enemy. Like that's a terrible situation to be in. Mm-hmm. So, right, we've all been there. So that's why the intent of a relationship is so important. The intent, you've got to say to yourself, I want to be in a relationship with someone who wants me to be the biggest version of me. Now that doesn't mean I'm selfish, it's not all about me, but my expression should be their project and their expression should be my project. Boy, you get into that vibe and then all sorts of things change, which is why stopping and doing this thing is a good place to just go, I am this, I love this, I need this. And then have your partner go, I love it when you, and I turn to you for. It's like, let's just stop fighting for a minute and just look at each other for the unique dent that we each make in the world. Whew, let's do that. Okay, so I was saying compatibility. Conflict. I hope these StandOut strengths roles help you know how your partner deals with conflict. So if you are an advisor and you are married to or in a relationship with a creator, the conflict there, creators sit in things. This is me, so I'm talking from experience. We sit in things and we hold them for a while. If Michelle and I argue, and we do, it takes me a while to get through it. Advisors can clear it quickly and move on. Advisors, There's quite a lot of conflict in an advisor's life, and they're pretty comfortable with the conflict language. You know, you're at ease with pressing the C button on the calculator and making all the numbers go away, and then you move on, and then you move on. That's an advisor. For me, I'm not like that. And so it's helpful for me to say to Michelle, look, slow down. I mean, she's not an advisor, actually. So our arguments tend to be about, I need to marinate in an idea, and then she wants to bring in new ideas into it, and I'm not ready for them, and we get kind of, our timing's off. So it's just helpful for me in a conflict situation to be able to say to her, give me space. I need time. I don't need time because I'm trying to annoy you. I need time because I'm me. And just by saying it, by saying to her, I'm just this way, it enables her to know that I'm not doing it to try to piss her off. I'm just doing it because it's me. Awareness cures a lot of ills.
That's so good.
It's like if you love what you see. I see you, I love you. But imagine if you don't. If you can't see the other person, hate isn't far behind. Fear isn't far behind. If you don't know the other person, you start fearing them, you start resenting them, you think they're behaving that way just to tick you off. Like, ooh. So, in conflict, how do you both deal with conflict? You know, equalizers are going to deal with conflict in a different way than pioneers. You both have to share that with each other in the argument. It's actually kind of helpful. That's why a common language is kind of good, because you can bring it in and go, look, I'm not trying to be this way. That StandOut thing I did, it's the pioneer in me. It's the pioneer in me that says, I got to move, I want to move. And then the equalizer is like, well, we don't have, we're moving in a way that isn't ordered, and I don't understand it. It's not predictable. I feel disoriented. And boy, when an equalizer can put words to that, suddenly the pioneer can go, okay, I don't feel what you feel, but I get it. You feel totally disoriented and insecure. All right. So this language is going to give you a way to go, look, I'm not being a jerk here. I'm being me. It may come across as a jerk to you, but I'm just being me. You know, if you are an influencer, you're not going, look, I'm not trying to impose my agenda on you. I just think about repercussions and I have an agenda and I move. I'm not trying to impose anything on you. I'm just trying to move and persuade you to move with me, because that's the way that I kind of approach the world. That doesn't mean you won't have conflict. What it means is, it means that you will have a way of explaining yourself to the person you're in relationship with. And that's always a good thing. Ooh, sorry, just before I forget something. This isn't about bragging. That's the whole reason of giving you this language. Most human beings, maybe particularly in England, but I think elsewhere too, find it hard to say, this is me at my best. We think we're bragging. This isn't about bragging. This is about describing yourself. There is only one you. So no one can be a better you than you. There's no competition here. When I say, listen, Michelle, I am the sort of person that needs to marinate in an idea before I can move on. I am not saying I'm better than anyone else. I'm not saying I'm the best at the ideas. What I'm saying is I'm at my best when I do that. So make sure you use that language in relationships. No one can be a better you than you. So this isn't about bragging. It's about describing. Anyway, going back to you had a thing.
I did.
Some questions coming through. Awareness and articulation of who you are. Yes.
The I need part, I think, is so important. That's the power of I need.
I don't know that song in The Greatest Showman. I don't know what that is. I haven't seen The Greatest Showman, so I should definitely see that.
Meredith knows. She loves that.
Does Meredith know?
She loves
I should have listened to it.
Show.
What were you gonna?
No, but that's the importance of I need. That part of the activity is you have to take responsibility for your articulation of what I need. And something that's interesting is a lot of couples will go, I need you to.
Yes. So I don't know whether you're hearing all that, but what Michelle is saying is the I need is so important. So many relationships, when the person begins the sentence I need, the word that comes after need is you. I need you to do X. I need you to know that I do Y. When actually in the best relationships, it begins with you, the person, going, look, as a human, like for me, as a creator, I need time and space. I'm afraid I do. If you don't love that about me, then you're not seeing me. Now, there's maybe more intelligent and less intelligent ways for me to manifest that need, but I need this. And so for me to be able to own that and say that, that gives agency to me. It turns me into an oak rather than a blade of grass flying in the wind. I know there's a lot of stuff on relationships where it's like, you need to be able to describe to Michelle how she makes you feel. It's like, no, she doesn't make me feel anyway. I have feelings, and my strengths are part of what those feelings are. I need to be able to describe, I need this, because I'm the kind of person that needs space to think. So can you do the same for what a great thing to share with your partner in that way. Anyway, conflict, advisors to creators, advisors to influencers. How do you deal with conflict? Use that language to explain to your partner why you do what you do. The second thing that this language should help you with is, how do you show your partner attention? How do you show them attention? Which is a little bit like kind of recognition in the world of work, right? Do you know how to show attention to the person you're in a relationship with? Michelle is brilliant at showing me attention, because as a creator, I love somebody talking to me about an idea of mine, talking to me about how that idea might have helped them see something or learn something. When she starts talking that way, I'm like, it's gooey. I mean, it's like, I love that. I hope there's ways in which I know how to show her attention, given how she's wired. The way in which Michelle processes experiences. I don't know, for those of you who watch the Stimulator one, like, all of our drinks in this house are in jars, because Michelle likes an experience of drinking where there was something in the jar.
Or beautiful pottery.
Or beautiful pottery. I don't have the pottery, so I'm using the jars. Everything's a darn story with her. So for me to appreciate the storiness of how she goes through life, that is a way to show her attention. It's not what I do, really, not quite. But when I'm recognizing that in you, or seeing that in you, that you've got now 47 jars, each one had a thing in it, each one had a history, if you like, and that's what we drink all of our stuff out of, is a beautiful way to pay attention to somebody. So do you know how to show attention to your equalizer husband? Do you know how to show attention to your pioneer mom? By the way, my mom is pioneer, right, Mom? I mean, that's mom's first lead strengthener is pioneer. Having conversations with Mom about the unknown. And boy, Mum could talk for England about the unknown. What's around the corner? What happens when we die? What are our souls like? What are our spirits like? What does God want? I mean, Mum will go there to the nth degree. And it's the greatest admiration that I can express for her, that I would show her attention in that way. Again, it sounds obvious, but boy, golden rule says treat people as you would like to be treated, right? Well, that's silly, isn't it? Don't treat people as you would like to be treated. Treat people as they would like to be treated. So you got to show attention to the person using those 9 strengths roles. It's going to help you.
Can you say that again? That is so powerful.
Which one?
Just that we treat the golden rule thing.
Well, the golden rule thing, if you do this relationship activity, the point of this is, don't treat people the way that you would like to be treated. That presupposes that everyone has got the same strengths that you do, and they don't. I would hope that this StandOut assessment will help you know how the other person wants to be treated. If I am a creator, it doesn't mean that Michelle's a connector. She doesn't have creator. I can't treat her as though she does. There is no faster way to relationship disappointment than to continue to expect somebody to do something that they are not equipped to do. Boy, you want disappointment? Continually ask someone to see something they can't see. You'll ruin a relationship that way. So this StandOut language is just a language to help you have a way to go, how should I pay attention to her so that I'm not treating her the way I like to? Okay, last thing for you to think about with these strengths roles is, how do you get their attention? Have you ever thought about that? How do you get their attention?
Focus.
How do you get them excited? How do you get them focused? Yeah, how do you grab them? These 9 strengths roles help you know how to get their attention. How many times have you been speaking to your spouse or your partner and you realize they haven't been listening to you at all? Like, give me some hearts if you've ever had that. You're talking. They stopped listening quite a while ago. That happens. Well, it may happen for many reasons. It happens to a great extent because you haven't figured right. And you're like, you weren't even listening to me. It happens because in the best relationships, we figure out how to get the other person's attention. Just as an example, if you wanted to get my attention, if I was in a relationship with you and you wanted to get my attention about something that we were going to go do, you would have to say to me, because remember, stimulator is my number two, or number two, is you'd say to me, this is going to be really fun. It's going to be so great. This is going to be so exciting. It's going to be, let me tell you about it. You'd have to make it fun. And then I can go, and I can lean in. Michelle knows that so much, and she has it too. So we feed on that part of, you want to go to that restaurant turns into what will it feel like? What will it smell like? Where will we sit? Can we visualize it? I mean, for some of you, that would be really annoying.
The yoga retreat, that story is hysterical.
Oh, well, it's one of the... let me hold on that, and I'll come back to it just in one second.
Oh, you don't have to talk about it.
But it's, how will she get my attention? As a creator, if I'm a creator, she isn't. If she wants to get my attention, get me really thinking about something. Here's what she'll say. There's little trick words. She'll go, oh, this doesn't make sense to me yet. The moment she says, well, this doesn't really make sense to me, I'm like, I'm in. Because it's like a trigger word. I'm like a Pavlov dog. This doesn't make sense to me. Creators, we've got a lot of creators on the phone. You say to a creator, this doesn't make sense yet. And it's like we're tripped. We go, ooh, I'll explain it to you. I'll walk you through it. If you wanted to get the attention of an advisor, you just go, I don't think it's going to work. I'm not sure it's going to work. The advisor's like, well, I'll tell you what works. So language, dive into the report of your loved one. The words are clues. There's this whole sections on how to take it to the next level, or how to grow and develop in terms of that particular strength.
It's about winning at work, so they have to sort of...
Yes. Now listen, we built this originally for winning at work, so we didn't really build it for winning in relationships. We should probably do a version. I did a book with HBR that was all about work, and so the examples, it was all about work. We should maybe do one that's just about relationships, because it's funny, there are trigger words. If you wanted to get the pioneers, how many pioneers we got? Any pioneers? Love on the pioneers? You want to get pioneers' attention on anything, you go, no one's done this before. I don't know. It might work, might not. Should we try? We haven't done this before is like a... we haven't done this before. No one's done this. No one's done this yet. We haven't done this. We don't know. Pioneers, suddenly they're like, aha! All right, well, step into that space. Away we go.
So even for gifts, that's so cool. When you think about gift giving.
Yes, well, you're an amazing gift giver. Yes, you can. Now, this just goes back to, again, I like the 5 love languages. It's a nice way to start. Having said that, the 9 billion love languages that's really the truth, isn't it? Is the way in which we get your attention, the way in which you show someone else attention is really a function of their beautiful uniqueness. And I really do hope that the StandOut language gives you a way to understand how do we get the attention of the people that we love. And boy, if my child does that to me and she's canny, although it's funny, I know she's doing it. I know she's deliberately trying to get my attention. She'll use the words. It doesn't really make sense yet. I know she's doing it, but it doesn't seem to matter. It does. She's playing me, but she's playing me like Yehudi Menuhin could play the violin. Like, it's beautifully done because there's love there, because I know she wants me to be bigger, right? You'll have the same. It doesn't matter if your partner knows that you're using words to hook you. It still works, so long as the intent is there. It still works. One other thing that people were saying is it better to be partnered up with someone who's different than you than someone who's got the same as you? And I know some of you had some questions about that. The short answer is, of course, is that there's no simple answer. Because if you have awareness of the uniqueness of the person, they feel understood, you feel understood. I mean, let's face it, sometimes your strengths can get you stuck. A creator for me, left to my little self, I can get so buried down into an idea, I can't get out. And it's good for me to have a connector around in my shell, let's say, who's going, no. First of all, what's the bigger picture here above? Don't get down in the concept. Get up here to the bigger picture. And then what other inputs have you not had yet? Okay, that's kind of good for me because I get stuck in here sometimes. having said that, compatibility can sometimes be sameness. It can sometimes be, it's not just that we have two different gardens and a gate between them, although that can be lovely. That's creator connector for us. I admire this in her. She admires this in me. And we have different gardens, but there's a gate between them. But we both got stimulators. So now we've actually both got a similar garden. And for us, that actually works. I'm not saying that would always work, but we don't... Look, sometimes we have too much drama. It's two stimulators in the same relationship. We can make things dramatic when they don't need to be. That's true. If you were an observer into our relationship, you go, guys, particularly if you're an advisor, you'd be like, guys, move on. Just clear it and move on. Clear it, move on. There's better ways to spend your Friday afternoon than arguing over some, thing that you've brought huge drama to. So I'm not saying that doesn't happen. But it does make you feel more immediately understood. We were at this, she was saying that somebody was here from Ojai. We went to Ojai to go to some retreat, and we went to the top of a mountain, and we were so excited. We got up at 5 a.m. We were going to meditate on the top of this mountain, and they had this class that we were going to go to. And we had been building this up the previous day, and then we got up in the early morning, we hiked up the mountain, and I grabbed my Michelle's hand to walk into this little round room where we were on the top of a mountain. You could see the sea. It was like, we both had this idea that we were going to have such an incredible, soul-enriching meditation experience. And I walked Michelle through the door, and we just got, both of us, a 2-second glance of the room in which we were going to be. And there was no windows. There was just a small round set of chairs. And I just moved her hand, and we went. There was no words said between us. We just walked right out. And I walked out for the same reason that she would have walked out. The space, but just because of the way we're wired, wasn't right. The feeling wasn't right. The experience wasn't right. I didn't need to say anything. She didn't need to say it. So sometimes that's what you get in a great relationship, where you get two stimulators together. And it's like there's a lot of unspoken understanding, which is lovely. Having said that, you can imagine pathologizing that. As I just said, you've got two stimulators in a relationship. You can get more drama than you need. So with all of this, it's not as though one strength is better than another to partner with. It's not as though it's better to have two of the same. We can't say that. What we can say is that the secret to a really healthy relationship is, number one, what's your intent toward the other person? Do you want them big? And the second thing is, do you have awareness of each other's natural strengths? Have you shared? Do you have a common language in which you can describe that? So intent and awareness combined with a common language, and oh my word, you have an opportunity to see each other and love each other. Hence, I see you, I love you. Okay, that is a lot to share. We're now, we could go, I guess we could go.
Next week, any ideas for themes?
Well, next week, we're going to focus on...
How many people are doing it with teams? Sorry.
Okay, very quickly. How many people are doing it with teams? I got 1 minute and 57 seconds left. How many of you are doing it with teams, with your teams, not just relationship, but teams? Show me some love if you're doing this with teams. Yeah. Okay, quite a lot of doing with teams. Okay, I think next Friday, we'll focus on teams. We'll maybe put an activity up online or something, and you can go to marcusbuckingham.com and find it. We'll focus on teams next week. I was thinking we might do another one on relationships, but if a lot of you are doing this on teams, then we'll make the next week teams, and then the week after that we'll do kids. Because so many of you have asked so many questions about how do I do this with my children so that they feel like I can see them and also expect them to be the best versions of themselves. So next week, teams, please, in terms of this next week, do this activity with those you love. I promise you'll get shivers. And if you have an insight, a story, a revelation, and some discovery, put it on Instagram, hashtag it, I see you, I love you. Tag me, and then we can all learn from it. And then, please keep writing the comments. It's been such an uplift. I'm here with my show. We're just sitting here trying to be helpful. It's been so lovely to be able to put something out there and see that there are a number of you who are going, this was actually a really, really helpful way for me to own the best of myself, or to see in someone else the best of themselves, which was the point. So thank you for your time today. Kiss and love, and we will see you next Friday at the same time. All right, lots of love.